Welcome to The Sketch Show. We are live broadcasting from some random back room in some random state in middle America. And we are bringing this show to you today just to find out how sketchy some of these stories about games really are. Adam can't be with us today, so I am your host, Sean, and I am filling in. And we're going to have a great show today, guys. There's a couple things that get under my skin, really grind my gears, and we're going to talk about that today. One of them is Star Wars. Star Wars. I love Star Wars. Star Wars is one of my favorite franchises. Everything about it I love. I'm even one of the guys who like Jar Jar Binks, okay? I like Jar Jar Binks. I don't think he ruined too much for it. I do think he should have been a Sith Lord, but I don't want to get off on a tangent. But there is one thing that we really need to get situated here. But we need to set that to the side just for a second. And let's tell you about the show. So this is a sketch show. You may or may not every once in a while see this pop up. Okay, and when you see that pop up, that means that we're going to have the Sketchometer rate the story from a scale of 0 to 5. 0 being the worst, 5 being the most interesting, the most sketchy, the most fucked up, to put it simply. And so yeah, we're only going to have one story today, two stories technically, but one main story, and that's the Star Wars Battlefront 2. How sketchy is Star Wars Battlefront 2? Well, let's just drop down to the link here, just to go ahead and get that going. So the link says, from Games Radar, Star Wars Battlefront 2. Watch the leaked trailer first and how it ties to every fact and rumor so far. Okay, keep that in mind. Star Wars Battlefront 2. This is by a Dan Dawkins. April 12th is when he posted this. EA's multiplayer focused shooter Star Wars Battlefront launched in November 2015 to mixed reviews. Let's hold off right there. Mixed reviews. No. There was no mixed reviews. There were people who liked it simply because it was Star Wars, and I was one of those people. And then there are those people who I am also one of those people who completely hated it. It was not mixed reviews. It was by and large a shitty game. It was Call of Duty in a galaxy far, far away. It was really kind of sad. If you really want to, know my honest opinion, it was sad. It was Call of Duty in a galaxy far, far away, and it wasn't mixed reviews. I know I keep saying that, but it wasn't. It was a shit game. There was no storyline. They gave you a few maps to start with, and then you had to pay $60 to unlock the other maps. It was just crazy. So Star Wars fans praised its authentic, accessible, and chaotic recreations of the classic trilogy scenes, like the 40-player Battle of Hoth. Yeah, that was one of the very few good things about it, and that was really the only good thing about it. You can only play as certain playable characters. They didn't span the entire timeline as the original Star Wars Battlefront did, which the PS2 version of Star Wars Battlefront was a lot better than the one we got, just for sheer content. Okay, sheer content. Now I understand it was rushed. I know it wasn't always just on EA, but come on, you're not gonna fucking use the Star Wars name and just fucking lay it through the mud. We're not gonna allow you to do that. Not on the sketch show anyway. So others dismissed the game as shallow. Others. No, everybody did. Everybody dismissed the game as shallow, lacking a meaningful solo player campaign and the depth of developer DICE's more tactical squad-based Battlefield series. If they kept it more like Battlefield, this game, the original Star Wars, would have been excellent. Excellent. They needed some sort of story. So yes, this part is technically true, but other players, no, it was the large majority of players who dismissed this game as shallow. Okay, the distinction was quite deliberate. Quite deliberate. Right, I understand it's Star Wars from Battlefield. I get that. It's going to be different. But the level of the Battlefield games was above the original Star Wars Battlefront that they created, and that was just sad. So argued its developers, but EA's shooter adapted to its community's concerns, striking back with a wave of high-quality, premium, and free DLC throughout 2016. No, not really. Not really. You had to pay for the season pass to get anything good, really, to start out without having to wait. So, yeah, they had a lot of the extra map packs and Bespin and all that, but that came sometime, the Death Star was months after the game's release, so yeah, just, spare me on that. And this last piece here. Loyal players were rewarded with new maps, characters like Dengar, and modes on Bespin, the Death Star, and Rogue One's Tropical Scarif. Yeah, Rogue One's Tropical Scarif, where you get to play as no Rogue One characters. You get to play as no other characters from the original, from the later trilogies or even the newest ones. So spare me for that too. This rewarded loyal players. Yeah, they're 5,000 people who are still playing until this fucking new game got announced. It's loyal players rewarded with new maps, new characters. Come on, like that's not even this. The guy who wrote this article is such a fanboy for Star Wars, he puts me to shame. And I love Star Wars. I'm sorry, the Battlefield 1, they dropped the ball on that. Free update, the Rogue One X-Wing VR mission delivered on its intoxicating premise. We defy you not to squirm in awe when a super Star Destroyer slides overhead, obliterating your field of view. Cool. That's awesome. But you know what you got to do in the original Star Wars Battlefront games? You got to fly in space and dock in your enemy spaceship, and then take that spaceship over and destroy it from within. That's what you got to do with that. So, yeah, this is pretty fucking sketchy. I want to give Star Wars Battlefront 2 the benefit of the doubt, but I don't think I'm going to be able to do that. I'm going to buy it and I'm going to play it, and we might even stream it on this channel. But to be honest with you guys, I just really don't think that Star Wars Battlefront is, the newest one, is really going to be any that much better. Yeah, they're going to have a story mode, but how do we not know that's not going to be a 4-hour story mode? How do we not know that? It said that spans across all generations. It could be small glimpses of story throughout the generations. And then at the very end, maybe there's a battle that has to do with new movies or something like that that you get to play in, and that's how it ends. And you'll get to see the Starkiller base. Like, that's all cool and that's awesome, but is Starkiller base going to be explorable? Is it going to be just a small central localized maps? And then the another thing I have to rant and rave about, the the small little tokens that drop, the almost arcade style tokens. Like, I seen that in the trailer for the new one, and it seemed like those are still out there. Now I understand, like, for a spaceship battles you kind of got to have some sort of those things to give yourself boosts and whatnot, but I don't even think you should do that. It should be like an actual battle. You really shouldn't get a leg up on other people. You should be able to find weapons laying out on the ground, and that's the way it should be. You should create your class, create your character, maybe customize it a little bit, go into the battle. You go into the battle, you lose your gun, you lose your gun. That should be a way to do it. You should be able to throw your gun down and pick up another gun. That's just the way it should be, in my opinion. So I think on the Sketchometer, Star Wars Battlefront has got to be at least a 5.
Congratulations!
It's got to be at least a 5. There's no other way that it cannot be a 5. So that's our main story today. That's what I wanted to rant and rave about. That's what I could not wait to get live and talk about. Star Wars Battlefront 2. I'm excited for it, but I have to say it's pretty fucking sketchy. I don't know if it's going to be exactly what it needs to be. I sure hope so, because I love Star Wars. But I tell you what, if somebody could come out with another Star Wars Galaxy game that was like Star Wars Galaxy, in the original couple years of it, and apply the level of development that Star Wars Battlefront has, we could have something on our hands here. We could have an actual full-fledged game. I'm not talking about an MMO. It could be an MMO, but it could just be a standalone game, like a Fallout game. So that's the main thing I wanted to bitch about. I wanted to gripe about it because I love games. As you can see, I like Fallout. I like Walking Dead. I like Dragon Ball Z. I love it all. I love it all. Star Wars, I like a lot more. So it's really disappointing. I'm going to buy the game, and I want to give the benefit of the doubt. But let's not ramble on too much here. So, the sketch show. Adam couldn't be with us today for some technical difficulties. He didn't want to, burden the stream. So, it's me. You have to put up with me. Eventually, we will get back to our original layout, our original sketched webcams and everything, and our donation link's going to be below. But we promised our Patreon supporters that the 22nd would be the day we go live, and we followed through with that. Our production value is only going to get better. Our stories are only going to get better, and we're going to fucking expose every story we can that we deem as worthy. Destiny has been on our radar. So many other games that I don't really want to get into right now. But yeah, that's pretty much the show. We wanted to keep a small one today, just to get you guys engaged, get you guys on here, let you guys see what's going on. But yeah, that was our main story, Star Wars. It grinds my gears that this game could potentially be a flop of the last game. They could solely build upon the game that they originally made, which was a subpar game. Definitely not a AAA game. Definitely not a game you should have paid $60 for twice. Definitely not. So more than likely, they built on this game. Most everything you see in the last game will come into play in the new game somehow, whether it be Hoth, whether it be Bespin, whether it be all of this, all these other different maps and different play styles and all this different kind of stuff. So with that being said, keep your eyes peeled for any kind of maybe shady beta play that might come out here after a while. But we gotta give it the benefit of the doubt, I guess, because it is Star Wars, and hopefully they did it right this time and it wasn't rushed and they took their time, even though it was, what, a year and a half since the last one's release. So it doesn't really seem like much time to produce a game that you flopped on in the beginning. But maybe they did build on the game and they included a really great story. They say it's from that one stormtrooper's perspective, I think, which could be interesting as long as the story is more than 4 hours of gameplay. It fucking makes me mad. It pisses me off that developers spend millions of dollars in a game, make you pay for it twice, and string you along with all this, this DLC that's it's really just small, little bitty changes with skins and weapons that really you can work through the game and unlock yourself. And even if you can't, who cares? Who cares? It's not that serious. So please support us on Patreon. Join us in Discord. Talk to us. Maybe you guys can give us some pointers on the show and how we should improve it. I'm just going with the webcam today just because our graphics aren't 100% complete, and I want to make sure that I don't use those graphics without Adam. That way he can be on here with us doing the full show, the full shebang with all 3 stories and all 3 sketch ratings and all that. So yeah, I hope you like the show. I'm still kind of irritated about this whole Star Wars thing. I had to get on here and say something about it. It just, when somebody like this writes articles and they're purposely leaving out the flaws of the game before, and then solely based off, because it's Star Wars and I'm a fanboy of Star Wars, this one's going to be great. I dare you not to be an all as a Star Destroyer blocks your field of view. Great, that is all awesome. That's 100% cool. But there was nothing else to that article. Nothing else at all. How is that not the only cool aspect? How is that not going to be the only... how are they going to leave that as it is, make other maps like this, and then call it a new game? You know, how do we not know that it's going to be the exact same game with 3 more months of extra DLC and a 4-hour story mode? We don't know that. We don't know that, and that makes me mad. That makes me really mad. So, this has been the Sketch Show. I'm a little pissed, but we'll see you next time.
Game over.